Hey guys, it's Kip from Famous by Friday Pickleball. Got two new paddles to review. The new paddles from Avoura, the new Rivelle and their new Revaya. In February of this year, I reviewed the Avoura Rhapsody, their first paddle they put out. The Rhapsody was kind of small, and I think several times during the video, I kept saying, man, I would love this paddle if it just had a little length. Well, Avoura has answered that plea. The Revaya is a 16.5 by 7.5 paddle, kind of a standard extended paddle, while the Rivelle is a 16.25 by 7.75, kind of a perfect hybrid paddle. These paddles both have 5.5-inch long grips with a 4 1/8 circumference. Very nice feel on these paddles right away. The Rivelle, the hybrid paddle, comes in with a twist weight of 6.09 and a swing weight of 109. So it could be bounced up just a little bit. And the Revaya comes in with a 5.83 twist weight and a 112 swing weight. So both of these paddles they're customizable. You could put weight anywhere you want on these. But man, they feel good just right out of the box. The surface on these paddles are both raw T700, a unidirectional carbon fiber. Should give this really nice spin, really nice feel. Both of these have the 13mm poly core, but Avoura calls their core Sweet Spot Enhanced. So we're going to take a look at these cores right now, and I'll show you what they mean by that and why these will probably play just as well as the Rhapsody did. All right, let's take a look at the cores, the heart of these paddles. All right, guys, here is the core of the new Avoura Revaya. There are two things you notice right away, but we'll bounce through just a couple of normal things here. This is a just 8mm polycell. It is 13mm thick, but these are 8mm cells, pretty standard for pickleball. But what you notice is there's no foam, there's no EVA foam around the edges. This is not Gen 2, this is not Gen 3, this is just core all the way to the perimeter. But Avoura does two things that are a little bit different. You notice this right here, right away. This is the Sweet Spot enhancement of the Avoura paddle. This is an iron-infused silicone gel that goes all the way around, kind of from the 5 and 8 o'clock positions all the way down, not all the way through the handle, but quite a way through the grip. We often put our lead tape down here at the 5 and 8 o'clock position, but this runs all the way down about halfway or a little bit more through the grip. That should give this more mass, more plow through, drag the sweet spot down a little bit. Should make this very playable, and it does provide more pop, more spin because you get more torque, all these things. The other thing that Avoura does just a little bit different is the shape of the paddle itself. In the hitting zone, this is primarily where you're going to hit the ball every time. This is your sweet spot area. This paddle is 7.5 inches wide. It tapers toward the grip to an area where you really don't hit the ball hardly at all and shouldn't. This is 7 inches wide down here. So it's got an interesting shape. Those two things kind of separate Avoura paddles from maybe some other paddles and make this really playable and should do well. Let's take a look at the Rivelle core. Once again, standard 8mm cells, poly core, 13mm thick. What you notice right away is they've gone a little bit higher with the iron-infused silicone gel. So they've gone up to the 9 and 3 o'clock position and not gone quite as far down into the grip. So it covers quite an area and should, once again, make this very stable, very playable, but they've added a little bit toward the ends here, gone a little bit higher toward the 9 and 3 positions. Should drag that out very nicely, make that sweet spot quite large. All right, guys, the second interesting physical characteristic of the Avoura Rivelle. Now, this is the hybrid paddle. This is a 16.25 inch long by 7.75 inch wide. But once again, through the playing zone, the primary playing zone where this is the sweet spot where you're going to hit the ball most often, this is 7.75 inch wide. This is where it's 7.75 inch wide. but it really tapers off down to an area where you really don't need a lot of mass. This is only 7 inches wide down here. Very nice. So that once again, that puts all of the surface area or most of the surface area up here where you're really going to use it and really should add much more playability to these paddles. Very cool cores, very different kind of thinking and thoughts. And I'm excited to get out the court and hit these. All right, guys, the Revaya and the Rivelle headed to the courts right now. Hope you're going to be there. I expect good things from these paddles. Very excited to get out there and hit that. I hope you're going to be there as well. We'll hit these paddles together. All right, guys, I'll be back. I'll tell you. Yeah, I think they're dropping the zone here. There we go. There we go. Now it's That's a good boy. Look how pretty you are. You to swing less. You just flow with it. Okay, I see. Oh, that was It's right there, though. Yeah. All right, guys, the Avoura. Not sure how to pronounce it. Revelle or Revelle? We'll see. Avoura. Okay, let's go after this target. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Do that again. Oh, that ball kind of went with a little, and I'm going against the wind. You can tell that because the balls are coming back. Still had nice, easy depth. Very nice accuracy with this. Very good. All right, let me spin a couple. The wind really picked up just then. All right. Not a ton of spin. Once again, the wind really picked up when I hit that ball. It's got nice spin. Yes, again. It does have spin. It does spin. It's pretty good. Let me do one more. That one was good. I want to make sure that wasn't a fluke. Let me do that again. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That was better. Guys, this is a new Avoura. This is an elongated version. You go off this target. Wow, that ball shot off of here. Okay. I'm going into a little bit of a wind here too. Let me do that again. Easy depth. Such easy depth with this. I dialed that back a little bit. I mean, so, but it was still straight on. Just again, I gotta find it a little bit with this. Wow. I'm dialing it back and that ball is landing at the baseline. Fascinating. This has got a little jump. All right, let me spin this a couple times. Well, that was cute. Don't know as I meant to do that, but that was cute. Wow, that ball was at the back line. What was at the back line? This battle's, and I'm going through the wind a little bit. Oh, that ball was whistling. Wow. Hey guys, back. Just spent the last few weeks getting to know the new Avoura paddles, the Revaya and the Rivelle. This is going to come down to personal preference and what you like, but both of these paddles do a lot of the same things and they both do it really well. I'm going to start out with the performance characteristics here. I always go with power first. Going to go with power first again. Everybody's interested in power. Both of these paddles did really well. Average service speeds right around 50. The Revaya came in at 53.8. This is the elongated version. You would expect that. A little more torque, a little more just, flick. Got a little bit more power. The Rivelle came in at 52.4. Neither of those are bad. Both are above average, really good pop. You would expect that. These are both 4.42 rated on the core scale. Very nice pop. I didn't up the weight at all on either one of these paddles, just tested them as is, and the ball just hopped off of there really, really well on both. Accuracy, control, and consistency was probably a little bit better with the Rivelle. You would expect that. Once again, it is the hybrid shape paddle, 16.25 inches long, sweet spot's a little closer to your hand. That should be more accuracy, control, consistency, and it was. You get the elongated version out there, you always take a little more power, get a little more power, you get just a little less control, but both of these really did well. But the Rivelle won out in the accuracy, control, and consistency part. Both of these paddles had spin. Once again, though, the spin, Revaya really has a ton of spin. And you kind of expect that once again. Elongated paddle, you got a little more flick, a little more just torque that you can put on the ball, spun a little bit more, but not that much more spin, just a little bit. Like I said, both of these paddles are very similar. So when I say one wins out in power, what was it? 1.4 mile an hour average? That's not that much. The control, just a little bit more control, just a little bit more spin. Both these paddles are very similar. Feedback and feel, both are very nice. Both have a nice plush ride, nice dwell time, nice soft feel, good touch. Any dinks or any resets, anything like that, really, you can be very confident that that ball is going to go exactly where it's supposed to on those, because it is a nice feel. Nice feedback, really plush ride with both of these paddles. Very, very, very nice. Good defense to offense as well. Go down, dig some trash, put it back in the non-volley zone with ease, and then go back up there. When you get up the non-volley zone, both of these paddles are really quick at the net. Both are relatively low swing weight. The Rivelle swing weight was 109, if I believe, and the Revaya was 112, I believe. So I would prefer the swing weight a little bit higher on both these. I would probably, if I was going to keep these in the bag and play with them, which I easily could, I would put a little more lead tape. These have the iron infusion, but I would put a little lead tape on there and bounce that swing weight up just a little bit more. But these are both very quick at the net and just easily to You, I'm telling you, you get that paddle out there, and the velo comes off of here, and it pops the ball back. You can have a lot of fun with these up there. These are very, once again, I'll go back to putting the lead tape on, very customizable. You can do whatever you want with these, and you can just make it yours, either one. Now, when it comes down to when I say make it yours, this comes down to a personal preference. Do you like playing with elongated paddle? Do you like playing with the hybrid paddle? Both these paddles are so similar in what they do, and hats off to Avoura for doing that. We kind of looked at the cores and saw how they made those changes and made these paddles relatively similar. So now it comes down to what length of paddle you like and what you're used to playing with. And really, you're not going to go wrong with either one of these. Price point on these paddles, $199.99 US. That's not terrible. It's maybe a little pricey, but both these paddles are made in the US. So that's kind of a cool thing. You know where they come from. You know all about them. So maybe they're a little more pricey, but not bad. That's really not that's not a high price point at all. But something to consider, $199 US. I don't really have any negatives to talk about on this paddles. The one maybe negative I would say is they are not Gen 2, not Gen 3. They're pretty much just Gen 1. So the differences come with these paddles over other paddles, maybe other Gen 1 paddles. Once again, the shape comes down to the shape. I really like that. I like that it's wide where you're going to hit the ball all the time, and it's really, really good. And the iron infused gel around the perimeter and down into the handle. Could you take an old Gen 1 paddle and do that a little bit? Yeah, you could put some lead tape on the outside, but I like that they've done it's internal. I feel like you get it into the core itself. It kind of gives it a little more structure and a little more pop maybe than if you just put it on the outside. Something to consider. I like what they've done technology-wise. I could play with either one of these paddles. As I played, actually not taught, but I played, I kept kind of going back and forth. Initially, I love the Revaya. I like this a lot. I like the elongated version. I could really just knock the snot out of it. I believe one of these serves was 56 miles an hour with this. The ball just shoots off of here. But every once in a while, I'd go back and hit the Rivelle. I kind of like this. I like the control that this offered, and you didn't lose that much velo. I like these paddles a lot. I'm anxious to hear if you've tried one, which one you're playing with, what you think about them. I think they're both really good. I think Avoura's doing some cool things. I like this. I like what they're trying, and they're trying to really. When I say what they're doing, is really trying something just a hair different, and I really love just putting the mass putting the sweet spot where the ball really strikes. I think that's a great idea. The shape of these are really cool. I like that companies are kind of playing with the shapes a little bit now and putting the paddle where you're going to meet the ball. That's really what you like. So, guys, as always, hit like, hit subscribe. Let me know if you played with one of these. I'd love to hear your comments. I like it. Avoura. Very cool paddles. All right, guys, I'll be back with more content really soon. Summer is here. It is so hot this week. Whew. But I'll still be out there. Hope you will be too. All right.
I would like to say that ball was going to be out, so I will.